Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope everybody is doing well today, as well as we can do, off the back of the whole football world mourning the passing of Liverpool's one of Liverpool's shining lights in Jota, Diego Jota, a guy who we pretty much seen throughout our whole life. We pretty much seen his whole football career, majority of us, and it's just shocking. It shows how short life is. It shows how you have to don't take for granted the interactions you have with your family, your friends, and be nice to people because you never know. You could be here today, gone tomorrow. And the real message that I want to just leave out to everyone is to make sure you try to be the best person you can be. And obviously, condolences go out to his family, his 3 kids, his wife, who he just got married to recently, and everyone who supports Liverpool Football Club and in the wider football world. I don't feel like I have anything else that the boys need to add. You've all done your own little things that you've said about it. This is the first time I mentioned on my channel, and I'm just gonna say he's been one of the players that I've always liked since he's been at Wolves. So honestly, man, it's a sad day, and condolences, man. That's all I can really say. Can't really say anything else about that. But yeah, starting off the show with a little bit of a somber mood, but let's try to get ourselves back. And also, don't forget, unfortunately, his brother passed away with him too. That's extremely sad news. So Andre, Diego, to his whole family. Imagine his mom right now, man. That must be, oh man, it's very sad, man. But yeah, we'll try our best to get back to the football conversation. And remember, it's not about rivalry. It's not about anything else. It's a human being. And when anything like this happens, just be normal, people. Stop being silly. Point scoring, all the silly stuff that I'm seeing online is ridiculous. For one day, just be normal. But yeah, we'll move on from that. Kaz, Ahmed, have you guys been seeing all the stuff going on with Arsenal? Because it's actually not like it's heating up at Arsenal with the amount of pace that I'm seeing with stuff. The Club World Cup, Chelsea could win it. We're going to have to talk about that. Vader is going to be joining us. So when Vader joins, we have to talk about the defense and everything. But unfortunately, guys, I can't do the show tomorrow. I would have postponed it with everything going on, as Rack couldn't make it because he didn't want to come on after hearing the news about Diego.
Of course, 100% understandable as well.
Understandable also. But let's start off with the Arsenal news. And I'm just going to start off by saying, Noni Madueke, I keep getting Ches sending me every single update from Fabrizio Romano. At this point, I have a feeling Fabrizio gets like a percentage from Chelsea signings because the amount of news he gets from Chelsea Direct, it's like Arsenal are not briefing this, that there's a new round of talks for Madueke. Arsenal would want to keep this quiet as much as possible, as the fans are going to go crazy every time they see Madueke news. But this is the third update he's given us in the last literally week. He's given us 3 updates on Madueke. And then Eze, which I've heard from people I know close to the club, that the Eze deal is a lot closer to being complete, and he could be an Arsenal player by the end of the weekend, which I'll have to wait and see if it's true. But Noni Madueke, surely, you know what? Let's start with the neutral. Kaz, surely Arsenal don't do another mad thing and sign another Chelsea player.
Hey, the script's already written, no? This is the script. I just want to know how much Chelsea want to sell him for. I know Chelsea's going to ask
they want 40 to 50 mil.
That's the price has been set by Newcastle. So
they want 40 to 50 mil. I think
sadly that's not going to happen because of Elanga. Shout out to Elanga for doing that for Newcastle.
Oh yeah, big up, man. We got 20% sell-on clause. It actually might be more as well. So we're gonna be pocketing.
They're trying to do it. The Elanga bid for about 55 million in total. I would assume Chelsea probably want within that region of 50 million. 55.
Yeah, but he's nowhere near as good as Elanga though. So.
Wait. What? Elanga's gone? Let me see. Where is he?
He's all gone. Yeah.
Gone there, but they're trying to. They're sitting at 50.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Elanga's a better player than Noni Madueke.
Listen, I think Chelsea would say if Elanga's 55. We'd want within that region, so that'll probably be 50 million.
To be fair,
a better player.
If Chelsea, you know what? If Chelsea say that, that's a good thing for you, Gal, because you won't pay that.
Elanga's a better player than Noni Madueke.
Can I just say something though? Yeah, and Kaz, you know this. Last time we told them pay a certain fee for a certain player. They paid it for us.
They got a different director of football now.
Oh, listen,
Yeah, we
all hear that all the time until we'll see what happens there. But
but
you know what? Let's take a second from the Noni Madueke stuff. Bring it back to Elanga. This is a good signing for Newcastle. Isaac's countryman, as long as Isaac stays, of course. I think it's a good signing for Newcastle. Because Chelsea stole one of their signings. Manchester United is about to steal the next signing in
two of them,
in Mbeumo and Cunha. I'm not gonna lie, Newcastle have had their chain snatched twice this season already, and the season hasn't even started. The summer.
I think it's a decent signing. I think he improves the right side, in my personal opinion. Shout out to the I forget the guy's name that plays on the Jacob Murphy. Yeah. Listen, I think he's a solid guy, but I don't think he's of that level. That makes sense, Champions League level. So I think Elanga definitely is an improvement on that at the end of the day. And listen,
I agree.
He's fast. He's great on the counter. And Newcastle are usually good on the counter too. And look, you've got two speedy wingers guys now. Elanga and Anthony Gordon on either side with Isak. I think that's a quality from him.
Okay. That's if Isaac stays, but that's a conversation for another day. Vader, welcome. How you doing, bro?
Yo, I'm not bad. Not bad. Good to see everybody. I was live.
You're wearing your Blue Jays hat. There you go. I see you. I see you with the Blue Jays.
Can you see? Vader, man. It feels like the thing's just covering your eyes, bro. What's going on?
Yeah, he's got the. Yeah, he's definitely covering his eyes. He's hiding. He's hiding like his defense. We're gonna have to talk about Man City. But guys, do you honestly believe Arsenal's going to sign Noni Madueke, bringing it back?
I genuinely listen. I think what. If I'm being honest and serious, I think probably Madueke's current growing price will probably be on about 45 million. Honestly, 45 million, and maybe it becomes 45 plus 5 million add-ons, something within that range. You probably buy him for. I think that's what the club genuinely wants, from what I know, right? So, and again, I told you this before we go here. This is me trying to remove bias. If you look at him as I think that your club is looking at him as a depth option. He's going to be behind Saka. Could possibly play for you on the left if necessary. Doesn't mean he's going to be starting there, right? I actually don't think he's a bad option if you look at him as a depth option exclusively, not as a star.
This is what was reported from Hand of Arsenal, saying Arsenal have spoken with his reps, not advanced, no personal terms agreed. Chelsea officials have denied any bid or anything being done. The player has expressed interest in the project, but has reservations over competing with Bukayo Saka. Furthermore, the player is not keen on playing on the left side either. It's true that there's interest, it's genuine, but as of today, that's it. So
obviously, this news came out 2 days later, though. Obviously, which is today.
This was 2 days ago. Basically telling us this is key, though. If he doesn't want to play as a left winger and he's not confident that he can overtake Saka, why would he come here?
For me, but then listen, this is where the manager comes in, right? What is the manager telling him to convince him to come to the club, right? The fact that you are still speaking of Madueke means to me that you believe in him and you're trying to convince him essentially to come to the club, isn't it? So that's the way I look at it, Gal, if that makes sense.
Hey, it's a howler, bro. It's a howler. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's a flipping. Look. Let's get one thing straight. Yeah, I thought Newcastle wanted to aim for the stars, and they're going to get Elanga. But anyways, that's one thing. I don't even think he's better than Jacob Murphy. Innit? I think Jacob Murphy's hella underrated. I don't think you're actually raising the ceiling, just raising the option on the bench, I suppose. Which is not.
You don't think Elanga's better than Jacob Murphy, bro? Seriously?
No, bro, tell me. All right, other than
Elanga is head and shoulders better than him.
All right, cool. One sec. I'm gonna let me answer me this. But bar pace, what is he better than Murphy at?
He's a better finisher.
No,
he's better. Obviously, he also is better.
He's not a better finisher.
Have you seen finishing is close? Finishing is close, I would probably say. I think Jacob. I think Jacob. We can give Jacob.
He's not better created than him. Can't cross the ball better than him. They're both footed as well. They both can leap in the air very well. Let me know what else he's better than him at. He's not better dribbling than him.
One thing you're forgetting though, Newcastle's a transition team, so. Yeah. The pace is probably one of the key factors in why they want him.
Yeah, no, I hear that, but this is what I don't understand. Look, he's an Eddie Howe type player, isn't it? I understand that. Yeah, that's like he's bread and butter. What happens when teams decide they want to let Newcastle have the ball finally?
They're gonna have to find. They're gonna have
to.
They have the midfield. One second, guys. They have the midfield.
Adapt with who?
Kalani,
With who?
Bruno,
with the
Bruno,
midfield.
Bruno G, Tonali.
They have a
That's a
quality
decent
midfield.
midfield.
Tonali's not a creative midfielder. Bruno G is, and also when it comes to Joe Linton, he's robust. He's not the creative. So when they allowed him to have the ball, like other teams, and like they did with Arsenal once upon a time. Do you remember when you was hitting everyone and whatnot? When Chelsea were hitting everyone, okay, you have the ball. Let me say you're gonna unlock, but you're gonna unlock me with Elanga. So this is what I'm saying. When Kudus is available for about the same price as what they want for Elanga, do you know how stupid this is?
You know what?
I'm not saying that Kudus is going to want Newcastle, but you got to put your hat in the bag.
I don't think it's that bad of a miss because is there talks about Murphy leaving?
No, he's
Okay,
he's just a lot older now, isn't he? So that's it. He's like
yeah.
31.
So if you have to sub on Murphy after Elanga's doing his thing, or if you have a little bit of an injury spell, you still have the same level of quality for quality. And I agree. I like how you phrase that, Kaz. Take away his pace, but his pace is important. His pace is incredibly important for Newcastle and how they want to play, right? So I think that's the addition to what they're doing. And for the season that they had last year, I think they do need depth because they're now obviously playing in Europe and they need additional bodies. So I don't think it's that crazy. I also thought it was funny the way Igal wanted to talk about Newcastle getting their chain snatched a few times. Like, aren't Newcastle the one that are trying to play amongst the big boys? So y'all are holding on to quote unquote your possessions already. You're not snatching anything, or you're not snatching anything that's possessed by Newcastle. They're the ones trying to get
Manchester United and Chelsea have literally taken 3 of their their top targets. They're now going for their 4th best options.
No,
okay.
So like I think no, they're going for the second
Joao
option.
Pedro,
the second option for them.
Cunha, and Mbeumo are 3 targets that Newcastle wanted to bring in this window. At least 2 of them.
And Delap, you forgot about Delap too.
Oh, I forgot about Delap too. Yeah, so that's 4.
But everyone's shopping for the same ingredients. It's not so much these clubs are snatching them away from Newcastle. Everyone has the same short list of
let's
players.
keep it real. If this was Arsenal who got a player stolen off by like they did with Bruno,
you're comparing yourselves to Newcastle now. Is that what we're doing?
No, I'm being honest. People
no,
say
you're not.
You miss
You're
out
trying
on
to inject Arsenal in the conversation.
So if you miss out on a transfer and he ends up going to another club like Foreign Verts did to Liverpool, they ended up getting the player over you.
Yeah, but it's not a flex when it happens with regards to Newcastle right now. You're doing it too early. Newcastle are trying to reestablish.
I'm not gonna lie. When they got Bruno G, that was a flex. Let's not act like it wasn't.
I think losing out on targets to Chelsea and United isn't something to be like they got their chain snatched. That's all I'm saying.
The one thing I'd say, when you want to get some of these players, bro, particularly when you're firing the big boys initially, the word overpay is the key word there. Sometimes you got to overpay a little bit to get you guys, on board.
Let's go to the super chat, guys. We got 2 super chats. First, Egal. What?
He saw basically the thing yesterday.
Let me just make sure it's not blocking everybody's view. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so yeah, Red Indian, shout out to you. He says, Egal saw a video of a guy slandering you. Felt sorry. Stay strong from the hate. By the way, R.I.P. to Jota and his brother. You never walk alone. Red Indian, I'll tell you this, man. I have already spoken about this. I've done a whole video on it. Honestly, thank you for the message and everything, and thank you to everyone for the messages. But I'm a big boy. I can deal with issues like that. I'm not gonna cry over somebody who I don't know. And I really do think there's an issue with people personally attacking people over football opinions, left, right, and center, because at the end of the day, it's never that serious. And I myself have to maybe learn sometimes to not get too emotional over some of these things, because there's bigger things in life than that. As for this comment here, thank you, Farhan Deguner. He says, Berta's playing a game. We're not signing any more Chelsea rejects. Believe Andre Berta's playing a game, and we're not signing any more Chelsea rejects. I think Andre Berta is doing what he does. He's a new type of director where I've never seen an Arsenal director try to go for multiple deals at the same time and then pick which one he wants. Usually we go for one, and then if it fails, we go for a second. Then if it fails, we go for a third. This guy's doing all 3 at the same time. Is that it? He might be right. The super chat might be right, guys. Do you guys think Andre Berta's way of doing business might just be the reason why we're seeing all these links to players? And we might not even sign Madueke. We might not even sign some of these guys.
I think you got to wait. I don't think we've got a
Not
enough.
sample size.
Yeah, we need to like kind of
Yeah.
clock what's going on.
The
Like,
thing,
I'm seeing
yeah.
Sammy Mockwell saying that this whole Rodrygo thing might be too expensive if you decide to go for a striker and that package there, and then
Who reported that right now?
Sammy
Sammy
Mockwell said about an hour ago, saying that there's murmurs about, you know, Rodrygo's physicality if he would adapt to the Premier League as well. And I'm thinking, who the hell is running? Who the hell is running?
Let's debunk this. First things first. If I can go to my,
I'm a quite reliable guy, by the way. He's a tier 1 for Chelsea.
Look at this. So first thing,
he is their tier 1.
This is where the Rodrygo conversation begins. The Rodrygo conversation begins because he's now open for sale. Rodrygo being open for sale changes a lot of things because Man City, Vader's team, Liverpool want him, Arsenal want him, Chelsea want him. Everyone kind of seems. I think
we'll have the race. I'll be honest with you. I think we'll have the race.
I know, but I'm saying everyone kind of seems to be this is one of the players, the hot properties everyone was looking at the beginning of the window to see if they wanted to get him or not. You've gotten Pedro and Joao Pedro and Gittens. It's pretty much you're done. You're out of this race. Vader, you're still probably in it, but you're probably going to need to maybe make some sales because you have so many players in that position already. As for Liverpool Rack's team, that is the team that could probably get him off us the most. Because if they sell Luis Diaz, it could be a situation where they could easily go and get Rodrygo on. But the thing is, Rodrygo's wages. I've seen a report saying that Arsenal is willing to pay 300K a week for Rodrygo. I've seen a report where Arsenal have already said that they're willing to make him a priority and give him whatever wages he wants and pay the transfer fee. And a main reason why this deal could happen is forget about everything that you're hearing about issues and concerns. Guys, the main reason why this could happen is, did you see the Martinelli reports? Did you guys see the Martinelli reports?
Yeah, but I've already seen before that Martinelli doesn't want to go Saudi though. So it's like, I'm like, okay, sure.
The problem is like,
one second. Al Nassr, Cristiano Ronaldo calling you, who's basically the director of football, basically, is paying 73 million to Arsenal. It could become a situation where you get forced out the door. 73 million is ridiculous money.
I would force him out. Are you mad? I mean, I was having
73 million.
The thing is,
by the way, in one installment.
Fucking nuts.
The thing for me is that listen, it's all whatever Ronaldo calling you and everything like that. But like, the thing is, right now he's getting paid quite handsomely, from what I know, under 80K.
180K a week, but he's gonna get more than that.
Listen, I think for me, the question is, does he want to play in the Saudi? That's what it comes down to, right? Is he willing to sacrifice his career for like that, for like, you know, essentially, what's what I'm looking for, like a wealth, like, you know, generational wealth. And for some of these guys, you've seen it just like right now with John Duran. He went there for half a season, bro. And now he's back in Besiktas, bro. So, like, do you want that to be? So, like, that's the thing you have to ask yourself. Now, from an Arsenal perspective, of course, bro, if you can get 73 million from Martinelli, bro, you're saying, take my hand and I'm driving to Saudi myself, right? So, the thing is, though, as with many of these things, bro, it has to be both a player thing and then a club thing to make it happen.
Yeah, Gabriel Martinelli, I'm not surprised that doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia at this moment in time at his age, 24 years old. His dad is also somebody who's also said he wants his son to play at the top level, and he's a Brazilian international. The thing is, if we bring in Rodrygo,
it's also a World Cup year, by the way. It's a World Cup year. And so playing in Saudi, it's not gonna get into the squad.
It depends on his desire, man. We've seen a lot of players reject Saudi this summer.
Yeah, I think he's an ambitious guy. I don't see him going to Saudi Arabia, but bro,
that's what I'm saying.
That kind of money, that's double Arsenal's transfer history record.
You might have your Bruno Fernandes moment right here, because that money there. This might be the Bruno moment. This is what I'm saying. This is when you get hope and say, "Oh, what can we do with all that cash, bro?" You can get striker. You can go get whatever winger. You get Rodrygo and more. It's all good. One installment. You know what you can do with all the cash up front. It's crazy.
Yo, Vader, what you saying?
Especially how much transfer fees you are at the moment.
Martinelli, do you see him getting sold though? Even if it's not to unnecessary for 73 million, could you see him getting sold for 60 to 50 million to a team in Europe?
I'm sorry, yo. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. What's your highest sale? Would this not be your highest sale? I don't see it.
This would be double our highest sale in our club history.
Yeah. and I'm not seeing. That's exactly why I'm not seeing this happening. I mean, is
market
it
inflation? What are we doing? Market inflation is crazy.
market inflation's been in the market for a while now. You still haven't sold like this, so
No,
I don't.
because all our best players never get sold. They end up leaving on a free, or they end up becoming washed because our team is shit.
Well,
But
you're
our team
telling
is
me that.
good. Our team is good now. You should be able to get returns on your investments.
Okay. Well, I personally I don't see it, and it would be shocking to me if it were to happen. I got to flip this question back onto you and say, do you want to lose him as a depth player?
I don't want to lose Martinelli, but if he can get 60 million, I'll bet the bullet, because I feel like that 60 million can go and get me Rodrygo. And this is where I want to bring it back to Rodrygo, because the reports are we want Eze plus a winger plus a striker. And Rodrygo, Arsenal's director of football, has spoken to Rodrygo's representatives. Now, Vader, the reason why I want to bring up Manchester City, are Man City serious about going for Rodrygo? Because I'm seeing you guys were interested in him before, and you're still interested in him now. And after what he did to you guys in the Champions League, I'm not surprised that you still are keeping tabs on him. So is Man City serious about Rodrygo?
You know what? I think we're always going to stay close. We're going to keep our ears close and see what's happening, see what these offers may be, see what it's going to take for him to leave Real Madrid. Is he a must? He's not a must because of the players that we currently have.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? All right, can I put a scenario out there? Because this is just such a Chelsea move, yeah. Let's say Kudus decides to join Tottenham and Chelsea don't pursue. Who says that? Oh, what? Wait, hold on. You're giving us 45 million for Kudus. Are we about to get some Club World Cup money? Hey, Rodrygo, how much? Anyone for that? Anyone for that?
The club apparently is the one person that break the wage structure for. Apparently, this summer would be Rodrygo, so it might happen.
I'm just saying.
Apparently, Arsenal's willing to pay.
It might happen.
Apparently, Arsenal's willing to pay Rodrygo. It's just Samuel McBell is saying something that his wages will be high, but Arsenal, if they bring in Rodrygo, they might sacrifice the striker.
Yeah.
So then that would mean, what's his name from Aston Villa? Will probably come in. I'd actually argue them. That might mean that Watkins will probably come in.
Man said back Madueke raid.
So imagine a window.
You got Lee raided, by the way.
Oh, big up Lee, man. Shout out Lee. Got out of nowhere. I see 670 people in the building. Big up, man.
Out of nowhere.
Out of absolutely nowhere. Shout out to Lee, man.
Maybe even Jackson, man. If you want Jackson as well, man, he's available too.
No. We don't want Jackson. We don't want Jackson. We don't want nothing to do with. We don't want nothing to do with Jackson. The Architect Raid is in the building. Shout out to the Architect Raid. In case you guys don't know, the Architect is Arteta.
Arsenal just cleaned up their act from getting red cards. They can't take on another player to.
No, but look at this. Look at this. Arsenal are seriously interested in Rodrygo and see him as a potential game changer. No doubt about that. Doubts remain. Doubts remain over the £70 million fee. His adaptation to English football, I don't think there should be any issue with that. As for Real Madrid, may be open to an offer, but his wages and the center forward spending could complicate a move.
The thing is with Arsenal, as I said before, is if you are going to try to bring in like a top tier striker and obviously a top tier winger, right? Some of these outgoings need to happen, bro. Like whether it be a Martinelli or a Trossard. I don't know if there's other guys. Lukonga's existing. There's some other guys. Vieira from Porto. I know he's come back. Some of these guys, bro, you got to be able to move them on, yeah, and make some level of like money on them to be able to.
But you know what? The problem is they're all on crazy wages, bro. Lukonga is on Lukonga's probably the fourth lowest paid player. The lowest paid player at the club.
How much is he on then? If he's the fourth lowest, then he's on like high wages, bro.
You got to remember, Arsenal's shifting out a lot as well. You know, like Jesus, Zinchenko.
Arsenal.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Kaz. You should be. The question is, yeah, obviously, if you're trying to move these guys on, how much are you trying to get for them? Are you willing to maybe take a loss on one or two of these players necessarily in order to just get some space on the contracts in terms of that contract money as well? Like, I don't know how much you've got left, how many years left are there on some of these guys' deals. So, like, you know, sometimes in terms of PSR, for example, yes, they may have bought him for 60 million, but because he's only got 2 years left on his deal, like, for example, that's only like 12 million, for example, left.
Look at this. Miles Lewis and Ethan were making less than 10K a week, where you got Jakub Kivior on 50K, Trossard
Well,
on.
Ranieri and Lewis Kelly signed new contracts, no?
Yeah, they're going to be getting good
But not
bumps.
that much. Not that much, though.
But reports are Lokonga, Vieira are both on around 50 to 60K a week. As for Kivior is on 58, Trossard's on 90K, Timber's on 90K, and then pretty much the rest of the team's on above 100K a week. And this is a part of the reason why Partey was not given a new 250K a week contract, because he would have been the third highest. He would have been the third highest paid player, and he would have been getting 150K more than Zubimendi, who might be starting over him.
That's the one thing I said about both City to an extent, and also like Arsenal. Yeah, when you give some of these guys like really high wages, bro, it's very hard to move them on, bro.
Man City though, they win. Because they win, no one really cares.
Yeah, but listen, they won, but like now they've got a bit of an agent squad that needs to try to move on now. And look at how high their wages are now, right enough to get.
This is a mess.
Not
This is a mess, though. This is a mess.
It's not a mess.
300K.
Not
Bernardo
necessarily.
Silva on 300K. Let me go through it. Bernardo Silva on 300K. John Stones.
Really, just on 300K, they're trying to move on as well.
John Stones, who doesn't play week in, week out, on 250. Ilkay Gundogan on 230, who's not a week in, week out starter. Phil Foden, 225, understandable. He's still one of their main men. Rodri, good deal there, but he's probably going to go up to 400 soon himself. Gavardio, good deal. But then you look at this. Majority of these guys are squad players. Good prices down there. But all these guys being on above 200 is ridiculous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
No, it's not.
Well, De Bruyne's gone.
De Bruyne's gone. So you got 9 players.
Yeah,
9 players on 200K a week plus.
Oh yeah, by the way, you pay the most when it comes to bonuses as well. So, but that's a bonus. If you're winning, you don't care. Get your bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the reason when you
I'm just saying, Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan, and John Stones, I wouldn't be surprised if all three of them are gone by the end of the window.
the Bernardo Silva is captain. He's not leaving, but you're right with regards to a Jack Grealish and an Ilkay Gundogan. Those players may leave. At the highest in terms of, I think, priority that may leave is Stones, then Ilkay. Bernardo's not going anywhere.
Grealish is going on loan.
Grealish is either on loan or will actually, probably on loan because no one's going to take those wages. So
yeah, no, you probably do like a 50-50 kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Shout out to the guy in Super Chats once again saying Chamberlain is our most
35 million
deal. And the only reason why he's the most expensive deal is because Liverpool won the Champions League, which kicked in an extra 5 million. That's the real reason why he's the most expensive.
But just when you look at the wages, and not to big brother you, but this is the result of a winning squad. This is what happens, right? So when you have that consistent winning, when you have these players that have delivered on these trophies, they have to be properly compensated for it. And they're going to get this in wages when they're in between contracts.
Look at Liverpool. No, I was just saying, Liverpool, look at them. Liverpool only have 2 players above 200K a week.
They haven't won like us. What are we doing here?
I know, but still, like
it's not a but still. They
have still won 2 league titles, a Champions League, multiple FA Cup, multiple League Cups, and FA Cup.
That's all nice. It's nothing close to what the City squad have won. So that's why you see a difference. They get paid in bonuses. Our players are getting paid because of what they have done consistently. So consistently they've won. That's why they've earned these wages, why they get these bonuses. Liverpool are just getting there. And if they happen to win back-to-back, see how things change up. See how the other players are looking over their shoulders being like, yo, Salah and Van Dijk are getting this.
One thing I was going to say, if you actually just go back to the Liverpool one, if you look at Bar and Van Dijk and Salah, look at that gap, bro, in terms of wages, bro. Those guys are receiving. And the rest of the squad, bro. Like Trent is the next guy after Van Dijk, and he's only 180.
Look at Man City, and then look at Liverpool. It's a complete night and day. It's night and day. And then we go to Arsenal, and it's a similar situation to. Where's Arsenal?
Well, you say night and day, but I'm hearing rumors that Wirtz's wage is not actually 250; it's 400, 350 still.
Wow. Crazy. We're gonna have to get back to that once we find out, because I don't even know what Miles Lewis-Skelly's contract is. Egal, thoughts on the scenario? Arsenal signed Rodrygo and Eze with no striker, but Isak is guaranteed to sign with us next season, you taking that?
In a
Bro,
heartbeat.
one thing you got to realize is there's no guarantees about next season in football. That is the reality. I know it would be amazing to get Isak next window, but I've seen this next window pushing it down the can story so many times. It never materializes the way you want it. Imagine we kick it down the can and then Liverpool come and get him, or Newcastle decide to sell to abroad and Barcelona come and get him. That is a possibility also. There's never a guarantee that if you don't do something this window, that player is still going to be available next window. I know you said in a heartbeat, Kaz, but say there's a scenario where you go and get no striker this window, but you're left with a situation where you're hoping and praying you can pull off an Isak next window. It's not guaranteed. It's never guaranteed. I want a striker this window regardless of what we're guaranteed next window. I want a striker coming in this window regardless whoever else.
No. Hold on. You want a striker regardless if you were to get Rodrygo and Eze?
I still want a striker, yeah. Be it Ollie Watkins.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't trust.
It's true what they say. It's just a hypothetical situation, isn't it? What if you could take it? Would you take it?
I don't trust Jesus' fitness, and I don't trust Havertz's thing. But guess what? Reports just came out right now that the deal that Viktor Gyökeres' deal with Arsenal is on the verge of collapse. What the hell's going on?
Wait, who's the source?
This is the source.
Wait, let me see.
Portuguese source. They're saying Viktor Gyökeres' deal is on the verge of collapsing.
You know what that sounds like? It sounds like his agent's doing work.
Yeah, his agent's doing super time.
They want you to. It sounds like they want you to make a bid or something like that and hurry up.
You know what? We're gonna have to. Let's talk about.
Wait, hold on, go. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna run with my stories on my. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta do your thing. Do your thing, bro. Okay, Verge of collapse.
Can I ask you the like? We need to get to
one second. I wanna shift to the Eze deal because
no. Before we shift to Eze, I need to ask you this question. Yeah. If Madueke does come through the door, right? It just happens.
Waste of a signing. He's not better than Ethan. Waste of a signing.
Ethan
outscored him last season in all comps. Go check it.
Again, that's all comps. He even played way more competitions than Madueke. Sorry. Say our competitions. Sorry, I should say my apologies. But yeah, you get what I mean.
All right, whatever. Your guy was a starter week in, week out, pretty much. This guy was coming off the bench, doing super impacts. I think if we were to sign Noni Madueke today, it would be a huge mistake, similar to what we did with Kai Havertz. I don't want another Chelsea player coming into this club and messing up our wage bill, or coming in and being like,
if you remember with Havertz, he got Jorginho
earlier.
Whoa. So you never know.
Hey, Jorginho was.
Wait.
I just don't think it's a situation where we should get Madueke. We can get better players. We don't need to go and buy players from Chelsea. And even then, we have Trossard, we have Martinelli. If we get in Eze and Rodrygo, what's the point of having Noni Madueke?
Depth again
to raise your level.
That's your depth. Again,
Noni Madueke is not better depth than Ethan. He's not good on the ball. He's not good on the ball. He's not good at
stay on brand, Miguel. This is stay on brand.
Telling me, one of the Arsenal fans that I had a show with the other day was telling me that if you look at our bench in the semi-final, we had a lot of young academy kids on there, not enough, necessary depth and experience there. Madueke's got European experience. He's been in the European quarter final.
Bro, I'd rather keep Reece Nelson.
Well, then Reece Nelson's out here, mate. He's at Fulham. He's down the road from me.
He's on loan. He wasn't sold.
Wouldn't you say it's on brand?
Was Reece Nelson sold? I thought he was sold.
No, he was on loan.
Really?
We still have Reece Nelson.
So you actually still get Reece Nelson back? No,
if we're doing Random FC, Reece Nelson is just as good as Noni Madueke. I don't care what anybody calls.
That's not true, bro. Because again, the numbers just show that right now.
Ahmed, can I say this? Doesn't it seem on brand? Because I may have mistaken. There's a lot of things that have been happening on social, but I thought Arsenal's account talked about receiving a Chelsea player and raising levels. If they get Madueke, isn't that another player to raise the level?
Listen,
Chelsea fans on brand. It's called brand.
Don't gaslight me.
Listen, Willian was there to raise the level. David Luiz was there to raise the level.
It's on brand.
My goalkeeper was there to raise the level. So
it's on Arsenal brand. It's very consistent.
No, you guys are.
All I'm saying, no, I'm not trying to piss you off here, but listen, look at what he did. Look at what he did with Havertz. Arteta has been improving him and making him, and actually like around about 15 goals per season. Now, Madueke, you can probably do the same with Madueke, right? Raise him to a level where if Saka is not available for you, bring on Noni, and he can still do a job that's consistent for you, bro. That's why again. I think for me, and I said this before, you just need to see him as a depth piece, bro. Don't look at him as a starter.
Can he view himself? Yeah. Can he view himself as a depth piece? Because
it's looking because if you're so talking to him, it's looking like he's open, isn't it? Then
Gal, don't let them try gaslight you into anything.
Bro. I'm not trying to gaslight, bro.
Noni Madueke is a fucking horrible signing. Yeah, period. I hear his backup, but remember, you need a starting left winger that's better than Martinelli. And
I don't think he comes in as a
Madueke.
I'd rather keep Trossard. Well, I'd rather keep Trossard than Martinelli.
I'm not gonna lie. If you ask me who'd you rather have, Madueke or Martinelli, I'm picking Madueke anyways because I think he's just a better footballer in general. But he's not. It's like they're two styles of different players.
I would rather have Martinelli's upside than Noni Madueke's
upside.
But
you would, because obviously, like, I'm just thinking of when it comes to low blocks. I think Martinelli's arse, man. I can't lie. I think Noni Madueke's got more to his game in that scenario, innit? And you play a lot.
The thing about is, what you need to understand, is you have to ask yourself, because Chelsea tried to do this essentially this season. They said Noni's great at beating his man, but it's about his final decision making when it comes to shooting, or then was it crossing or passing, right?
Why do we need more
Arteta? Wait. The question you have to ask here, because Chelsea thought that Marseille could improve that. Sadly, that did not work out, right? Arteta, if Arteta believes he can improve his decision-making process, then I don't really see the issue with bringing in a guy like Madueke, bro. That's what I'm just going to say.
All right. Let's get to serious matters at hand. Eze seems to be actually happening, though. We're talking about Rodrygo.
How much is it going to be, by the way? I don't know. I'm just curious.
The reports are 68 million was what the release clause is, but Arsenal could agree a 60 million pound deal.
That's outrageous, by the way. That's a very good deal for him. I'll be honest. 60 million is a
former Arsenal Academy player, homegrown, can play in the 10, can play in the left wing, can play in the right wing, can do all of it. And there was even a rumor floating around that Odegaard might be injured, but that was quickly debunked this morning. So that might have something to do with why Arsenal's moving so quick to try to get that deal sorted. I'm quite excited about Eze to Arsenal. I think regardless if we were to have gotten Rodrygo or not, I think Eze is a level raiser. I don't know about you, what you guys think. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Eze for me is definitely a level raiser because you're mate, when it comes to your creativity of your midfield, Declan Rice ain't creative. Zubimendi can be from deep, but that's like a required certain kind of phase of play that needs to happen for it to be creative. And then when it comes to Odegaard, you should be relying on just him solely in it, let alone a 17-year-old kid and even in your Mandarian. So it's just, I think for me it's a 10 out of, individually. I think it's like a 8, 9, 10 out of 10 signing. I'll be real.
Yeah, I heard from some people, they're saying this deal is going to be the first like big deal Arsenal does after Zubimendi's.
You like to think so if it's a release clause. A release clause should be easy to do. You cut out the middleman. Done.
Apparently, we're paying less than the release clause. Apparently, we're gonna pay less than the release clause by 8 million.
I'll tell you now, Palace
and give them the money.
I don't think Palace is going to accept that.
No. Palace were agreeing to a release clause with installments. We're basically going to give them. We're going to pay 8 million less to give them more money up front.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Then that makes more sense then because they need money for the. Obviously, they in Europa League now want to spend a bit more.
Yeah, and also
Conference League maybe.
We kind of ripped them off with Rob Holding.
That's true. Actually,
they
might have been Europe at all.
What do you mean? You ripped them off just for fucking Nketiah recently?
Yeah,
that's true. That too.
They paid 30 million for him, isn't it?
You guys know Rob Holding has played 3 professional games since he left.
Gabriel Heinze is going to be joining your staff. Crazy.
Who?
Gabriel Heinze, how you would say, he used to play for us, Man United and Real Madrid.
Where was this reported?
Just now, David Ornstein.
What's going on? So much crazy shit's going on. Oh, this is the new assistant coach.
Yeah.
What's going on? Arsenal's got a new assistant coach. Since when? Who's this guy? Explain to me. What is he good at?
He was good at football once upon a time.
No, I mean, what kind of assistant coach is he? Because Carlos Cuesta was Arteta's responsibility for like helping the defensive players and developing like Ben White and some of these guys into their roles.
I don't know. I didn't even know he was. I I didn't even know. I didn't even know he was even coaching.
I didn't even know everything.
Hey, Arsenal getting some former winners in their team is good though. You said he was a Manchester. Was he a Manchester United player or a coach?
Yeah, but yeah, he was in our squad, bro. He was our team until he was like a centre back / left back.
Bro,
or left back / centre back.
He's not had any major managerial experience. Like
You don't really need to in an assistant management role.
Yeah,
true. He's managing the MLS. He's managed in the MLS. He's managed in the Argentinian league. Very interesting. Bring fresh ideas. I like it. But overall, let's see. Honestly, regardless, we didn't win the league for the last 3 years. A coaching.
I like to, man. I don't know. I didn't know that the game had changed as much. But we need to hear about assistants being signed. What's going on?
Yeah, bro.
This is outrageous, bro. This is outrageous, bro.
No,
even for my own club, I'll probably say this is kind of outrageous too, bro. I don't want to get about
assistant coaches are important.
All right,
I'm not saying they're not important, but
no, it's big news. But it's big news these days.
Bro, it is important because assistant coaches are the ones that organize your defense, organize your attack, set up certain.
Yes, that's all well and good, but I don't need to hear about who's been signed for it. Like,
okay, let's shift gears to Man City now. Finally, eventually, guys, Man City. Everybody's seen what happened to Man City versus Al Hilal, and I just want to say, Vader, how did you feel when that fourth goal went in and you seen the Al Hilal fan holding his neck with his glasses off his face? That must have been.
Oh, that was comedy. That was comedy. Perfect timing for him. He's gonna live. That's gonna live forever.
He's trying to make a career off it. I rate it.
He's trying to make money off it.
He's trying to become a content creator off the back of that moment. I rate it.
That's smart. That's smart. Obviously that person had personality. That fourth goal was hard to see, but I hate to say it. It was overdue in that game, man. It was one of those where it's like everybody and their mama were questioning Pep. They're like, what's this 11? Why does he have Bernardo Silva and Ilkay Gundogan on here again? Like, why is he doing this? So a lot of fans were already questioning it, but I'm gonna be honest with you. By halftime, when we were 1-0 up, I thought we should have been 3-4-0 up. Like the chances where we were creating, the saves that were being made, I was like, okay, I'm not mad at this. But that second half was a learning. And I was quick to say this, and this isn't me being revisionist. I said it was a preseason tournament. It was a preseason tournament. And
now you want to say that.
I've been saying that.
No, you weren't saying that before. You're saying respect the competition. This is a big tournament. Everyone wants to win it.
Yeah, respect the competition. Everybody that's not in it are talking, poo-pooing it, downplaying it, talking how bad it is. And now everybody wants to talk about City out of the tournament that they were bashing to begin with. So come on, y'all be consistent. I was saying it was a pre-season tournament, which factually it was. My manager.
No, it wasn't.
It's factually preseason. It's happening before our season comes. It's literally preseason tournament. So my manager's got to manage this in addition to keeping in mind that he has what we all really want, what we're all trying to get in terms of the Prem and Champions League. Yes, I wanted to win it. Yes, my club wanted to win it. But we also had to manage what was really, dare I say, the bread and butter, which was really what everybody wants at the end of the day, the Prem and the UCL. So we crashed out. We should not have lost that game to Al Hilal. As good as they played, as poor as we played, we shouldn't have lost that. I need my players to have their shooting boots. I need my players to be able to sense danger. I need that spidey sense to be kicking in when there's a counterattack or where there's a ball being played over top or diagonally. We need to be able to read that better. So go ahead.
I was just going to say, shout out to the keeper, the Moroccan keeper. Yep. Unbelievable performance from him. He absolutely killed it. And bro, Vader, your boy Ederson might be finished.
No, he's not. But
your boy Ederson might be
overreactionary. I expect you to be reactionary like that.
He was shocking. I've not seen him save a 1v1 situation since the Champions League final. Like
Oh,
that's
hilarious.
that's how poor I feel like he's been recently. And maybe I'm over exaggerating,
Of
but
course you are.
your defense, scary times.
Yeah.
Reinders, Pinecone, Gundogan, Pinecone, Bernardo Silva, Pinecone. That whole midfield were
Why are you
Pinecone
man saying Pinecone?
because
Pinecone.
they were getting walked past. They weren't even doing anything defensively. The three of them. That midfield trio was poor. As for your back line, I rate Diaz, I rate Gavardio, but Nunez at right back's not going to cut it. And Ait Nuri is baptist of fire, having to defend as a left back in a back four when you have a midfield three that's not defending at all. And if I show everybody the team, the actual team that played versus Al Hilal,
Yeah.
bro,
Same team that played against Real Madrid.
guys-
You got a draw.
you guys, do you think it was a disrespectful lineup, or do you think you just got it wrong? What do you think it is? Because
No,
you look at
okay.
this midfield; these are
You
European.
clearly ignore what I
these
have
are
to say.
European players. You got Milinkovic Savic, who turns up in every single World Cup or Euros. You got
Yeah.
Neves, who's still on the Portuguese team and
Yeah.
was in the Premier League last couple of years. I'm not too sure about this guy, but you got Malcolm, who's been in the top level already. You
Yeah,
got
played really well.
Cancelo, who previously played for you. Koulibaly, who played for Chelsea. This is not a mug team, bro. I felt like you
Yeah.
guys played so attacking, thinking you could just blitz them.
No, Pep, and again, I know you didn't listen to what I said earlier. Pep is managing this as a pre-season tournament. So he's got to have some rotation. He's got to try some things because this is the time to do it. I know for everyone, they understand it's knockout stage, play to win it. He's got to have a combination of the two. He tried a ting. He experimented with what he was going to do with his midfield. He didn't play a true six. He played Reinders to see whether he can do that role. He played Ilkay and Bernardo to see whether they could still kind of get the press and deal with obviously what was a low block, but they weren't able to deal with the counter. And this is what I think my manager was trying to deal with the whole time. We know the majority of the league and Champions League teams are going to low block us. So he's experimenting on how we can still get at some of these goals and can we manage some of these counters that are going to happen with these low blocks. He got it wrong. He got it wrong in the second half because honestly, we were in control. They did not have a shot on target that first half. Now, when they did have a shot on target, they happened to score. They were mad clinical, but that all changed up when he took off Nunez, which you said isn't good enough because Nunez was good enough. They scored those goals when Nunez was subbed off.
I think these are logical points, but at the same time, your defense in that game got exposed. And as much as you're going to say it's a preseason tournament, as much as you're going to say Pep is doing rotation, this is something that I can foreshadow see happening in the league.
I want you to. Count us out. Tell me that my defense is poor. Tell me that we aren't going to be good enough to win this league. I want that. I want to hear that.
No, but your defense is poor because your goalkeeper is making mistakes. He's not making saves. Your defenders are getting put under a lot of pressure because of your midfield. Yeah. And I said this on Never Foul. I said this on Never Foul. Kaz told me I was crazy. Yeah. I said this on Troops' channel. Lee Gunner told me I was crazy. I think your defense is still suspect. And Manchester City fans who watch that Club World Cup can tell you right now your team is not ready defensively to win this league next year.
Yeah, I said City are chasing Liverpool, Arsenal, and maybe Chelsea. Maybe Chelsea.
I'm going to help you out here a little bit.
You don't need to help me, but go ahead.
Because I think when you're playing a high line, as you were, right, I think it's more so a personnel problem for me, actually. I don't know if you can necessarily play some of the guys that you have there if you're going to play in that high end, particularly those centre backs. Like I think for me, for example, Ruben Diaz, I don't think he necessarily has enough recovery pace, for example, such that if he needs to, if the high line does get broken,
agreed,
right? So I think for me, this is where again, I know you brought that young the cousin of fellow. This is where I actually think he might work in the team, innit? He works in the team. So that, I think for me, it's more so like if you're going to play this style of play, you need to make sure you've got the right personnel there to make stuff happen.
Yes, and you will see that moving forward. Like I said, Pep has had rotation throughout this entire tournament. I know you don't watch all the City games. I know many of you that weren't in the tournament, Ahmed and myself, obviously we watched more of this because we're involved in it. But Pep actually had a different 11 from game 1 to game 2. He's trying to figure out who can do what and who can do what when. Now, in this game... Sorry.
Wait, hold on. So because you support a club, you watched more, yeah? So I watch all your games.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say because I support my club, I watch more. I said because I'm in the tournament, right? And I've heard this from many that weren't in the tournament. Oh, this tournament is invite only. It's not really important. Who really cares about it? So it doesn't apply. If it doesn't apply to you, let it fly. If you watch it, cool. But I know with regards to Igal, he was pretty on this tournament. I know you watched some of it, but when I mentioned, because I watch every game of City, that's why I want to emphasize Pep, because you kind of were dismissive of when I said rotation. Pep has had a different 11 from game 1 to game 2, and this is a knockout stage, so we got burnt for not getting the result, but we were in control.
Tomorrow.
Hey, can I ask Kaz? Kaz, did you do a video yet saying Igal was right?
No, because the first statement you made was wrong. Because if you watch the City versus Juventus game, they didn't have a sniff. Literally. Like, if you actually look at it, they had moments like most teams when you play higher lines and stuff. Like, it was, they got absolutely dominated. Did you see the possession?
Didn't I say their defense is suspect though? And
yeah, but you can, it's like a throw-in. It's like looking at the scoreline and say that's a throw-in statement because you saw the scoreline. Did you watch the game?
I said that after they beat Juventus.
Did you watch the game?
I watched it back. I was sleeping.
You watched it back. So did you watch the 90 minutes?
No.
Well, I did, and they dominated heavily. That game should have ended probably about 10-2. How about that? Fair. How about that? You look at their goals as well. You look at the goal. They literally
on his head.
Yeah, there was one huge mistake from both sides. But anyways, even in that other game that they lost to Al Hilal, in the first half, they should have probably been up 7-0. If I'm being honest, they missed chance after chance after chance. But we know how this City team is, and that's when your statement is correct to saying, well, if they're going to play like this against teams that are probably better than Al Hilal then, and all this kind of stuff, that don't mind playing on transitions. Let's say Elanga does go to Newcastle, they're going to get hurt a bit, aren't they? You know, so it's a fair statement. They don't have Kyle Walker anymore to hide away their deficiencies because he ain't got the recovery pace. Well, Ruben Diaz certainly doesn't. Akanji's a flipping bozo, and I've said this for time anyways. When he first joined, he's got too many mistakes in him.
Yeah, and Akanji ain't got the recovery pace that he used to as well.
It's not even that. His positioning is just not all that. He's got all the tools in a locker though. I know they're asking for Kusanov, but he's apparently struggling to adapt as well. Not many people know this. In training sessions, and bro, it's like Nori's basically Trent.
And you know something? Our bracket's busted. Our bracket's busted because we had Man City in the final.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, had Man City in the final. I just want to refute a little thing with regards to Akanji, because Akanji came over here, I think, for 15 million. I think if he had a chance to play in a position consistently, because Pep has kind of used him like a Bernardo Silva, where he's played all over the back line. He's had him inverted. He's had him play right back. He's had him play left back at times, and he's obviously had him centrally. I think if Akanji could minimize these bozo moments, if he had that secure position and was consistent centrally, but that's another conversation.
Noni Madueke did not score more goals than Ethan Winery.
I think he's talking about the league in
all competitions last season. I am not lying.
Listen, we're not going to be doing
also Antoine Anonymous. Shout out to you. He says, "I hope you're well, Kaz. I was watching your live in the morning when the news broke. Your reaction, what?
Your reaction mirrored mine.
Oh yeah, mirrored mine. Yeah, R.I.P. man. That really hit everybody this morning, man. As for this comment here, Arsenal are fighting for third at best. Keep underestimating us. I like the underestimations. Why would Arsenal choose Arsenal? Why would Rodrygo choose Arsenal over City and Bayern?
That's an easy question to answer. One, City have got how many players at left wing? They got even Marmoush. So boy, whatever. Bayern Munich. It's not the first time Bayern Munich. They tried to hijack the whole Declan Rice stuff. Didn't work, did it? Everyone, bro. Players want to play in the Premier League. What's hard to grasp? Bayern can't give out wages that Arsenal probably can afford as well. Like, Bayern are a super team, but they're not a super team. Did you get it?
You know, Rodrygo has guaranteed starts at Arsenal.
Players view Arsenal in a light much brighter than some fans do, because we haven't won things in 20 years. People have a bad impression of us. But in the reality, in world football, I think a lot of top players would want to come to Arsenal. And people just need to get that through their heads. It's not the same old Arsenal they used to.
And he wants to play on the company as well, man. Fuck that.
Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about Chelsea before we go.
He's not that guy, man.
There's no Manchester United news, Kaz, right?
That guy.
What happened to Eberechi Martinez?
Oh, alhamdulillah.
Oh, you don't want him?
No, I know. Just alhamdulillah, always, isn't it?
All right.
Yeah, joke, man.
All right. So there's no actual Manchester United news, major news.
Oh, well, not major news, except that Gyökeres and Arsenal's collapsed now. Thanks for the title.
There
We
you
need
go.
some sales, man. I'm surprised you guys aren't making sales, bro. What's going on? Like, I want
Oh, there's a third bid, right?
No, there is.
Third bid?
Jadon Sancho's like heavy in discussions with Juventus. They're willing to
Fair
put the
enough.
25 million up. That's fine. The wage part's another thing. I got a feeling it depends. It depends on Sancho's, because remember, Italy's 20% tax and we do 45% tax, so it's a bit different. And is 200 odd K, he's gone down to like 220 or 200, something like that. Anyways, he's on 10 million a year, so it shouldn't be a big thing for Juve to get over the line. They really want him, so that's one thing. That's just a one thing. Apparently, Bayern are now going to approach Rashford, so that could be something. Or Martinelli, we'll see what happens there. But it's nothing really official. Anthony and Batiste, we'll see what happens there, because they're wanting him. They're apparently put some proposal in. Anthony Elanga, we got a 20% sell-on clause. Alvaro Fernandez is going to go Real Madrid still, so that's another 20% there. That's like 15-20 million wrapped up safe.
Any else cooking?
What else is there? The whole Garnacho thing. I don't know. That's the one for me where it's like, what's going on at that part? Because United's demanding way too much for him, which is normal in negotiating. Okay, if you don't want 60 million, how does 50 million sound? That was probably the whole thing. Because if you put out 50 million, say I want 50 million, they'll be like, well, how about 42 million? And that might be up Napoli's street. They still want him, but the price is way too high. So I don't know. There's a lot of differences. Apparently, about to put in the Mbumo bid. I don't know. Again, I don't know how much exactly or how the structure is. No one knows. That's probably going to get wrapped up. I think Brentford played a gamble and they played it really well. And they're going to get as much as they can get in, because he wants to go to United, obviously. So it's just going to, next one probably gets accepted. I think rejecting the second bid was definitely ballsy from them, but they know United will pay. And then beyond that as well, there's loads of central midfielder links at the moment. Loads.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Luis,
that.
Richard Rios.
You should go for Andre Santos. Chelsea need to sell him, right?
I'll tell you now, yeah. I do never, ever want to do business with Chelsea ever again.
I know, man. You got a little chico available.
No. Stop giving them money. There's only so many women team that they can sell and all that. Let them get.
Bro, Aston Villa sold their women's team.
Yeah,
they didn't have to sell any players.
Listen, they're learning from the best, man. They're learning from the goats of loopholes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is with Villa, they got to still get rid of wages off their books. They're a bit tied up at the moment.
All right, let's talk about Chelsea. Could Chelsea fluke a Club World Cup?
It's not a
but
fluke.
their route's quite easy compared to others.
Why are you disrespecting European heritage?
Yeah, man.
They have all the Brazilian sides on their side.
Yeah, Brazilian sides are very competitive. We lost to a Brazilian side, so listen, these guys are very competitive.
I personally don't want to see Chelsea win, and I also don't think they have the facilities to go and beat PSG and all these teams. But
listen,
it would be interesting.
In the one-off final, you never know. That's what I'll say to you first and foremost.
Can Chelsea win the Club World Cup? Can Chelsea win the Club World Cup? Yes or no?
Bro, let me just get to my thing. But firstly, we just got to beat Palmeiras first. That's what we've got to focus on tomorrow or Saturday morning for us in the UK. We've got to beat Palmeiras.
Like a European winner. You play who's in front of you first.
You know, we got to beat them first. We're going to be facing Esteval versus his soon-to-be new club. It's going to be very competitive.
He hasn't had a good game all tournament.
Fair enough. I haven't watched him. I haven't watched him this tournament.
Yeah, but that's because all the Chelsea fans are flipping voting superior match because it's a fan thing.
Is it? Fair enough. But listen, either way, I haven't been watching them. I haven't watched Esteval this season, I should say, in general. But listen, all I care about beating Palmeiras, then I think we face Al Hilal, the one of Al Hilal versus someone else, right? That's who we'll face. And then listen, when we get to the final, we'll talk then. But as of right now,
I'm on Richard Rios. I know Caicedo's not playing tomorrow because he's suspended yet, but Richard Rios, that's the one I'm looking for. I want to see how he performs.
He's facing Lavia, to be honest. It's gonna be Lavia.
And to be honest, I ain't staying up till 2:00 in the morning, so that's a given. So I'll probably watch I'll probably ask Joey in it. I'll probably ask the Americans or whoever's watched it, say, how did he play? At least Joey can give me an honest report in it if he's absolutely chefed you up or he hasn't and got absolutely dipped.
Either way, man. And obviously Neto will not be playing tomorrow. I think that's been.
Are you going to sign? I thought Kudus was going to Tottenham. All of a sudden,
so the thing about Kudus, is that I think we probably will sign him, but I think the way it's gonna happen, it depends on how.
But he's rejecting Tottenham.
Yeah, so I think listen. So I think it depends on the situation. If Tottenham put in a bid, for example, of a certain amount of money, and like we're thinking, okay, we need to get him now. We'll probably get him now and then worry about selling guys like Madueke, maybe a Jackson, whoever else we need to sell right later on. Or what we'll probably do more than likely is because if the way the Madueke news is coming out, I would assume by the end of the week or early next week, you probably put in a bid or negotiate for Madueke, and then if that goes through, we just buy Kudus straight away, basically. And or option C is that the Club World Cup money comes in, it's again after the final, semi-final, and then it's Rodrygo Nation.
Rodrygo
Nation. Listen, there's a lot of options available.
I'll tell you right now, you guys don't have the facilities to pay Rodrygo $300K a week.
This guy. Do you know what? Wait. Do you know what our current wage structure is? Barring Sterling and Chilwell, because luckily we got Kepa now off the books. Yeah, the highest. I think our third highest player is hovering on 100.
Are you going to?
150. Yes, the club have also said that.
Are you willing to give Rodrygo $300K?
Yeah, the club has already said they would be willing to break the.
Wait, hold on. Wait, but you say no to Osman, but Rodrygo. When you need a proper number like that, that's
what they said. Listen, I'm just saying what they reported.
Is it because he's 24? Is it because he's 24?
Listen, that might be the reason.
But what's one second? Reason. You guys are collecting Pokemon over at Chelsea. First, you got Gittens.
We are stockbrokers. I told you this before. Chelsea is stockbrokers FC, bro. We're trying to buy low to sell high, man. That's the aim of the game.
You know what it is? Their American owners are trying to turn Chelsea. They're trying to turn Chelsea into a major league farm system. That's what they're doing.
Listen, if that's the case, man, bring it on. If you farm the best of the best, and they play for my club, in the same window, if you get Rodrygo, Gittens, and João Pedro, it's a mad thing.
Yeah, I say the same thing. I say the same thing.
It don't make
sense.
I
look forward to that happening if it happens.
You know what this is? This is irrational spending. This is somebody giving a credit card and they don't know what they're doing.
Listen, it's not my fault that your club's not willing to compete with us for sales.
Bro, we are willing to compete for Rodrygo. I don't think we're willing to compete for Gittens and Pedro, where you guys are willing to spend willy-nilly. You spent $145 million on Pedro, Gittens, and
at the end of the day, if they want to pay that, we will pay that. That's the way.
Ahmed, let's be honest. João Pedro, Gittens, Liam Delap, solid player. We don't know if he's going to be a starter, backup, what he can reach. Gittens, I still don't know what his caliber is. But you have another. You've signed 3 João Pedros in the last couple of windows. You signed Felix, who's a João Pedro type player who plays everywhere.
And he's leaving the club. Next, please.
You've signed Nkunku, who's a João Pedro
leaving the club as well. So that's another one gone. All right, so there's 2
gone. How many times are you guys going to sign the same type of player who doesn't work at your club? Who's
again? Let me again. My issue with this argument is that Nkunku did not work out for a number of reasons. The third season, he just literally was not available. The second season, because of how well Palmer played, we were not willing to change our system to accommodate him. That's the situation with Nkunku. With João Felix, it was literally we were doing a favor to an agent. That's literally what happened.
I hope you guys. I hope if we miss out on Rodrygo, you guys get him, because what's going to happen is he's going to fuck up your wage bill, and there's no chance in hell. There is no chance.
This sounds like a lot of coping to me, bro.
There's no chance in hell. Rodrygo is going to have anywhere as much success at Chelsea as he would at Liverpool or Arsenal.
That's what they say about a lot of players, man. That's what they say
also,
about a lot of players.
Finally, Chelsea Football Club, I figured out what they remind me of, guys. If you've been watching my Twitter lately, they remind me of a show called Lost. They have a cast.
I know that show.
They have a huge cast and not enough airtime for each person.
How about this? See, what's the new show that they created? I just watched it recently. It's bad. It's so sick. From.
Yes, that's a quality show, bro.
Quality show. When I tell you, no one watched that. That's a 12 out of 10 show, by the way.
Yeah, that shit is amazing, man.
You're prepared. It's on. If anyone say, "Oh, where is it? It's on. I think it's on. Is it Now TV?
Yeah, Now TV. Sky TV's on Sky. Sky TV's
Chelsea fans always tell me they can spend their money how they want. You can spend your money how you want. All I'm saying to Arsenal is don't give them money. Number one.
Don't worry, man. That Madueke deal was going to hit next week. Number 2, I'm going to be on this channel again next week.
Number two. When we sign Eze and Rodrygo, and we get a striker, I will be happy. If we don't do that, then we'll speak. Right now, I think people keep putting out the Noni Madueke stuff to kill our vibe. in
Oh,
Arsenal.
you're my best friend.
No one is
They're trying to
killing your
kill our
vibe, bro.
vibe.
If it's what's happening, it's what's happening, girl. Just accept it. You know what I mean?
Hey, we're gonna wrap it up here.
Chelsea
We're gonna
gotta
wrap it up
capture
here.
the ball.
I think Chelsea are not going to win the Club World Cup. Let's read some of these super chats before we go. First things first, Iga, you really are a generational hater. Your words, what? Your words at then.
I think he's meant to say you're worse than Lord Voldemort. That's what I think he wants to say.
I'm worse than a fictional character. Fair.
I don't think Voldemort.
I think there's much worse haters than me. There's a guy who came to a Club World Cup and wore every single shirt of his Japanese rivals team and sat in the away end with the rival of the Japanese team every single game. And he flew to America to do that in every city. So there's much bigger haters. There's a hater of the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is the team that I support, and he goes to every single Maple Leafs playoff game, sits wearing an opponent's t-shirt, and he buys every single one. Semantic. Anyways, Arteta will sign a Chelsea flop. We've already signed our flops for the season. Kepa's our Chelsea quota for the year.
Yeah, but Kepa technically is not really Kepa's, listen, he's like it's a forgotten flop. You need like a new flop right now.
Yeah.
So I think
you know what? All I gotta say is shout out to all the super chatters today. You guys have been blessed. Shout out to everyone who's been watching. Shout out to Lee Gunner for the for the redirect. We're gonna send you over to Kaz's channel now. Kaz, what you got going for people?
Man United stuff.
Okay, and a little bit of Gyökeres.
Sure.
There you go. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. You guys go check out Kaz's channel. Check out Bridge Nation. Check out Vader Games in the building. Allow me to reintroduce myself. Tell them, people. Anyways, we're out of here, people. You already know what it is. Bang.